Hey Squids, Michelle here to touch upon something we all thought at some point. Man, my team sucks. And we can go on with our long list of profanities, but let's talk about how we can ensure we aren't the ones holding our team down. Firstly, selflessness. We need to practice this. A team requires a collective effort from each member, so trying desperately to get that last shot in for a kill does not affect the opposing team, it affects you and your team, especially when you are stepping on a teammate's toes. So don't get in the way of each other's shots, instead aim for a different angle. This could result in cornering or funneling an enemy inkling. This leads us to protection. Shooting in one direction is detrimental to covering ground, so unless you're both shooting in the same direction to claim an important part of the map, it is best to watch each other's flanks. Get good angles so the opposing team doesn't pierce through a weak defense. If your teammate decides to super jump to your location, do not abandon them. They super jumped to you having faith that you held the ground, so don't leave them there to get splatted. Try to protect the ground as much as you can, because for all you know, that second barrage of ink could end up helping you. Conversely, do not super jump to a teammate who is going to end up drowning in enemy ink. This is why awareness is the key. Being keen on what types of weapons your teammates are holding and the weapons of the opposing team can tell you a bit about locations. For example, if you see a charger on your team, you know that they will need to get to higher ground. So instead of vying for that same spot, go for a different location to get an alternative effective position, or help them get to their desired spot. Conversely, knowing that there's a charger on the opposing team will let you know what they want too. Put yourselves in their Firefin shoes and think, what would I do? Predict where they'll go. Another point on higher grounds. If you see a teammate struggling to reach an elevated position, try to help them out. The faster the travel time of your teammate, the faster they get to a key position. Map awareness is another key point. Using the map can assist you in your decision making as to what direction you will plan your attack. If it's turf wars, the question might be, where have my teammates overlooked to cover ground? If it's ranked mode, the question might be, where has there not been a line of attack? Can I flank them? The map can also be used to foresee a possible flank or attack from their end. If there are no enemy inklings around you, look down at your gamepad map and see if you can spot an incoming attack. This will allow you to plan your counter and save your team the headache of a flank. Wanting to be the top squid may lead you to pick the superb killers, like the .52 Gal Deco or an Aerospray. But if you all go into a match with this purpose, then you are all looking out for only yourselves. Think of some sub-weapons that can assist you in combat that would help both you and your team, such as the Sprinkler. It's great for pressuring your foes into having to ink their trails yet again, or provide a steady spray for splat zones. Putting them in key locations helps any team. Another example is the beacon. Laying a beacon in key points allow for some strategic super jumps, which means more inklings fighting the battle at a critical location, as opposed to having to traverse through the map once again. Another handy team player is the splash wall. Putting them up allows for some defense against opposing ink, which gives room for your own team to retaliate. I also find that a great team special is the echolocator. It helps your whole team to scout the opponent's location, so although it may not defend you as well as the Kraken or a bubble special, benefiting all teammates with locations will benefit you as well. But can't the bubbler be used for your team? Of course it can. Being a hero with it can be cool and all, but it has much better use as a team player. Considering that it can activate a bubbler for any players around you, it is best to use it defensively, or strategically for pushing terrain when you are all protected, like in that final stretch in tower mode. Using these abilities is great, but do not forget to take them out if you see the opposing team has placed them in the battlefield as well. If you see a Sprinkler, take it out. If you see a beacon, take that out as well. These provide benefits for their team and should not be overlooked. I can't count how many times I've been in a Splat Zones match where the opposing team had so many beacons, which allowed them to hog the key positions and thus win the battle. In those situations, you just might wish you had voice chat to yell at your teammates, or to at least make them aware. We may not have voice chat, and it does indeed suck, but the best we can do is use the D-pad commands left at our disposal. Using a "come on" signal, initiated by pressing up on the D-pad, can signal for a team rally when trying to take command of a pivotal point of the map. A common example of when to use this is in tower mode. If you gain control of the tower and the opposing team has been weakened, it is a good time to call on your teammates to assist you in your push for territory. You can also utilize the command Booyah by pressing down on the D-pad. This is commonly used to signal where you've been taken out and can alert your teammate to an enemy in the proximity. Now, let's morbidly talk about squid mortality for a moment. Going for constant kills but dying just as often is not as important as being the one to survive. Anytime you are down in combat, think of the time it takes to get back to the frenzy. If you can survive a secure location nearby, waiting patiently for your teammates to super jump to overtake a zone can sometimes be better than killing one inkling and dying. Time is of the essence. Lastly, do not get fixated on one plan. Don't be that guy that inks everywhere in a ranked match when you should have better priorities. This isn't to say you shouldn't be inking your territory, just do not focus on that one thing. It goes the same for those fixated on just killing enemy inklings in turf wars. What about the ground you could have covered? Bottom line, try to be a balanced player. It's tough work, but most shooters ask of you to constantly be thinking of your surroundings, your teammates, and your role. Being fixated on one thing will help no one. Alright guys, hope you squids enjoyed some insight on teamwork. Be sure to subscribe for more videos like this, and let us know what you do to be a team player.